Hi folks, this is Jake. We're looking at this very scholarly piece of work by F.F. Bruce, one of the great scholars in modern times. He passed away a few years ago. And we're reading about the grace of God. The same principle appears in the parable of the two debtors in Luke 7:41-43. One owed a large sum and the other a small sum, but when they were equally unable to pay, the creditor, in the noble language of the age, frankly forgave them both. We see it again in the parable of the prodigal son, Luke 15:11-32. When the black sheep of the family came home in disgrace and started off with the fair speech he had so carefully rehearsed, his father might have said, "That's all very well, young man, we have heard fine speeches before, now you buckle to and work as you have said, and if it turns out that you mean what you say, we may let you work your passage. But first you must prove yourself. We can't just let bygones be bygones as though nothing had happened." End of quote. Even that would have been generous. It might have done the young man a world of good, and the elder brother himself might have been content to let him be put on probation. That is very much like some people's idea of God, but it was not Jesus' picture of God, nor was it Paul's. Yeah, let's just read that again. Let's read that, because that'd be really good. Luke 15:11-32. We read, and he said, "A certain man had two sons, and the younger of them," just put that there. "And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me a portion of the goods that have fallen to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, and took his journey into the far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into this field to feed swine, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. When he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he rose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck, and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called a son. The father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe, and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet, and bring hither the fatted calf, and I will kill it, and let us eat, and be merry. For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found, and they began to be merry." It's quite staggering, really, because the young boy just deserved to be wiped off the face of the earth. In that culture, if you did that to your father, say, give me my inheritance, you would just be seen as a pariah when you went back to your home, because you humiliated your father. Yet his father showed him grace and kindness. And then we'll see what F.F. Bruce has to say in the next part.